Books and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, fantasy romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. Happy Friday! Today's video is going to be I'm going to talk about the new releases that released on Kindle Unlimited this week. I got this video idea from watching Christy from Christy Reads a Lot and Sam from Sam Reads a Little. I'll link Christy and Sam's channels down below in the description so you can go watch their videos. I'm just gonna go in the order that I read them. So, the first new release I read was Coach by Devoney Perry. Coach is about Ford and Millie. They are best friends in college. One day, Millie kisses Ford in the library. And they both think this is the start of something more, but then Ford's ex-girlfriend shows up on his door and tells him she is pregnant. Jumps 10 years later because this all happens in the prologue, and Ford is a famous football player who has to retire early because he suffered an injury. But he gets a job as the head coach in his alma mater, so he goes back to Montana with his daughter to take up that position. Little does he know, Millie, who was his best friend, the one in the epilogue, works at their alma mater too. I forgot the name of the school. She is the assistant director of the girl sports teams. And once Ford sees Millie, he will do anything to bring her back into his life, so he pursues her. He tells her what happened when he ghosted her, essentially, like he didn't know how to deal with everything, and he shouldn't have pushed her away. After he tells her what happened, and he apologizes, Millie accepts his apology, and they start to be friends again. But they both want something more, and so they agree to this relationship, but they have to keep their relationship a secret because they don't allow fraternization in their department, because of the last coach they had. He had a scandal, the one Ford replaced, so they have to keep their relationship a secret, and they also have to hide their relationship from his daughter. Ford doesn't want to do that, but Millie doesn't feel comfortable. She doesn't feel comfortable telling Ford's daughter Millie right away about their romantic relationship, but so they keep it a secret. But eventually they do tell Ford's daughter first. He is fine with it. Joey is Ford's daughter, and she's happy about their relationship. And so they're just keeping it a secret from their school because they both want to keep their jobs and they don't want to get fired. I give this book 5 stars. There was a lot of football content in this and I think Stephanie Perry did a very good job for her first sports romance, like her first football romance. There was a lot of football. The only thing I would nitpick about it was that it was not a second chance romance. It was marketed as second chance, but to me it wasn't a second chance because Ford and Millie never had a romantic relationship in the past. So I thought it was more friends to lovers than second chance. That's the only thing about it. But I really enjoyed myself reading this book. I cannot wait for book 2 in the series because I read the blurb. I'm definitely going to continue this series when the second book comes out next year. If you haven't read Coach by Stephanie Perry, please check it out. Also, the audiobook was great. The narrator is Teddy Hamilton. I love Teddy Hamilton. The next book I read was If This Is Love by Julie Ann. And we follow Indy, who is 10 years old, who was adopted, whose adopted mother passes away. And when her adopted mother passes away, like, her father basically doesn't care about her. He could care less about her. He's mean to her. And everyone in the ranch is always gossiping about her, like how he paid $1 million essentially for her so that his wife could have a child. Nobody cares for her essentially except for the ranch hand in the farm. His name is Milo. Kind takes over as her guardianship. He's like 18, she's 10. And he cooks for her, makes breakfast for her. He lets her stay in his apartment in the barn when she feels like she has no place to go. He essentially takes care of her when she is a child. And as she grows up, she slowly develops romantic feelings for Milo. And when she's 18, Milo slowly realizes he has romantic feelings for her also. But you can tell throughout the book that Fletcher, her stepfather, is holding something over Milo's head. So Indy and Milo cannot be together because Milo has to do everything Fletcher says, because if he doesn't, he'll expose what he has been holding over Milo's head for so long. So they cannot be together. They are together in secret, even though Milo is forced to marry Fletcher's niece, who he does not love. He loves Indy, but he has no choice but to go along with this wedding. This book is so angsty. I loved it. I read this book because of Cheyenne, and it's going to be I think it's going to be one of my favorite books of the year. Cheyenne from That Top Book Girl raved about this book, and I can honestly say I get the hype. I give this book 5 stars also, like I gave Coach 5. Third book I read is The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke, and this is about Juliet. Juliet, she lives with her mother and her stepfather and her stepbrother. Something happens to Juliet where her stepbrother, he sexually assaults her. And Juliet runs away and she lives with this pastor family, and she starts dating the pastor's son. They treat her okay, but they treat her like someone who works for them, but Juliet won't do anything to get out of their situation, and she starts dating their son, Danny. Juliet meets Danny's best friend, Luke. Luke can immediately tell, like, Juliet is hiding herself. Like, what's going on? Why don't you have a backbone against these people? Like, just tell them no. So, it's basically Juliet and Luke's relationship. There is cheating involved in this, so if you don't like cheating, don't read this book. I gave this book 3 stars. First of all, it went from present to past. It alternated from present to past. Like, in the first chapter we have the present, the next chapter we have the past, and it kept alternating. And I'm not someone who likes that. So that was a point against it. Also, I believe they have more of a connection when they were in the past than when they were in the present. Like, I believe, like, the angst in the past, but the angst in the present, I just didn't see their connection when they were in the present chapters. And also, I didn't like the fact that the pastor's son was named Danny, because Danny is my dad's name, and for those who have been in my channel before, I don't typically read the book where one of the main characters has my family name, especially my dad's family.
I'm okay with it in monster romance or fantasy romance, but not in a contemporary romance.
I bought the Audible credit for it. And I love Teddy Hamilton, so I had to finish the book. I would still recommend this book, even though I gave it 3 stars. I love Luke in this story. The way he looked after Juliet. Luke is a great guy. He was my favorite part of the book. So, I would still recommend it. The new book release I read was If Only You by Chloe Leaf. And it's Ziggy's story and Sebastian. Sebastian is Ren Bergman's best friend, and Ziggy comes up. Ziggy is tired of people not taking her seriously. Like, her family coddles her basically. Wants to be taken seriously in her sports career too, because her teammates kind of see her as a standoffish person. So she goes to Sebastian because Sebastian's image is a terrible one. He's basically throwing his image down the drain, and Ziggy goes to Sebastian to propose that they become each other's fake friends. Sebastian agrees to this to save his hockey career, because there's nothing Sebastian loves more than hockey, because hockey is like his escape from his reality. And so he agrees to Ziggy's plan about being friends. And I love this book so much. It's fake friends to real friends to lovers. There's autism rep. There's chronic illness rep. Sebastian has celiac disease. Yeah, I think I may like this more than Always Only You by Chloe Lease. I love this book. It's gonna be one of my favorite books of the year. It's a slow burn romance, and I love the way that Sebastian makes the Bergman family see that there's more to Ziggy than just this little girl in their eyes, because they want to coddle Ziggy, and he makes her family see that Ziggy is her own woman. And I love that Ziggy makes Sebastian feel like he's worthy, because his family dynamic is not good, and Ziggy makes Sebastian see that he is enough, that he doesn't have to please his family, that his feelings and thoughts are validated, and I love what they do for each other. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. If you haven't read the Bergman Brothers, please pick it up. But if you have, I think this will end up being your favorite. If Only You by Chloe Lease. Those are all my thoughts on the new releases that released this week. Please let me know your thoughts, and if you read any of the new releases, please leave a comment down below if you did. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. And I'll see you Monday. Bye.